Is Adam the vicegerent, successor, caliph, or Khalifa of Almighty Allah on earth? Allah exalted He states in the glorious Holy Quran, and, remember, when your Lord said to the angels, Verily, I am going to place mankind, generations after generations on earth. They said, Will you place therein those who will make mischief therein and shed blood, while we glorify you with praises and thanks and sanctify you? He, Allah, said, I know that which you do not know. Quran 2:30. Does that mean that Adam is the vicegerent, successor, caliph, or Khalifa of Allah exalted He on earth? Answer: first, before getting into lengthy discussions and to make it easy and simple, one must understand that when we say Adam is the vicegerent, successor, caliph, or Khalifa of Almighty Allah on earth, this expression is a metaphoric and must not be taken literally. In fact, one must start by understanding the terminology used before deciding whether Adam was Allah's vicegerent, successor, caliph, or Khalifa on earth or not. Definition: vicegerent, successor, caliph, or Khalifa are all synonymous, which means these words have the same meaning, and technically and logically vicegerent, successor, caliph, or Khalifa would require a predecessor and a successor for him too. In more detailed words, Allah exalted He is the first and last. No one can precede Him nor be His direct or even indirect vicegerent, successor, caliph, or Khalifa. Allah exalted He, King of Kings. Quranic evidence 30. And, remember, when your Lord said to the angels, Verily, I am going to place mankind, generations after generations on earth. They said, Will you place therein those who will make mischief therein and shed blood, while we glorify you with praises and thanks and sanctify you? He, Allah, said, I know that which you do not know. Quran Surah Al-Baqarah equals chapter The Cow, 230, verse analysis. As we can view from the above verse, the angels wondered and asked Allah exalted He about the wisdom of creating a new creation which might make mischief and therein shed blood. Obviously, if the new creation is meant to be literally direct or even indirect vicegerent, successor, caliph, or Khalifa of Allah exalted He, then angels would be blasphemous towards Allah exalted He, and that is impossible. Additionally, Allah exalted He did not specifically say that the new creation is direct or even indirect vicegerent, successor, caliph, or Khalifa on behalf of Allah Himself at all. Surah 2. Al-Baqarah. Verse 30. Additional Quranic evidence, O Dawood. Verily, we have placed you as a successor on the earth, so, judge you between men in truth and justice, and follow not your desire, for it will mislead you from the path of Allah. Verily, those who wander astray from the path of Allah shall have a severe torment, because they forgot the day of reckoning. Quran chapter Sad, 38:26, verse analysis. Again, we can easily see here that Allah exalted He has appointed Prophet Dawood equals David as a vicegerent, successor, caliph, or Khalifa without specifying that it is on behalf of Allah exalted He Himself at all, which eventually means vicegerent, successor, caliph, or Khalifa of a previous prophet or human preceded Prophet Dawood, David in English. Surah 38. Sad. Verse 26. Commentary. Based on what I mentioned evidence and from the proper Islamic point of view, Adam and humans had been appointed vicegerent, successor, caliph, or Khalifa for each other to inhabit earth, worship Allah alone, to enjoin the good and forbid the bad, and abide by Allah's authentic messages that were delivered by His prophets and messengers, who were sent over the centuries in chronological order. Prophets come consecutively with some time gaps between each other to remind people of the teachings of Allah exalted He, fulfill and deliver the very same core message, which is to worship Allah, do not associate any partners or equals in worship with Him, and do the religious rituals that have been instructed to do. Naturally, all the work of all those great prophets and messengers is an integration work that complements each other in a comprehensive way. Here is a great hadith that depicts the integrated one message of all prophets and messengers of Allah exalted He as one message. Each prophet and messenger come to complete it. The last of all the prophets, our beloved Prophet Muhammad peace be upon him, said, narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's messenger peace be upon him said, my similitude in comparison with the other prophets before me is that of a man who has built a house nicely and beautifully, except for a place of one brick in a corner. The people go about it and wonder at its beauty, but say, would that this brick is put in its place. So I am that brick, and I am the last of the prophets. Reference, Sahih al-Bukhari 3535 in book reference, book 61, hadith 44. Allah knows best.